welcome back to episode 2 of the Ultimate Autographs podcast. We're back here in the Ultimate Autographs studio. I'm here with Griffin Sassano again, Adam Johnson to my left. Today, episode 2, we're going to talk a little bit about the NBA draft, who's going up in stock, who's decreasing in stock. Big in the autograph world, Bowman 2019 is out for card breakers and card collectors, a huge product for prospects, inserts, rookies, up-and-comers. We'll talk a little bit about defensive players in the NFL, and then we're going to get into our 20 questions segment today. So similar to the last episode, 20 questions was a big hit for us. It was a lot of fun. So first thing we're going to talk about, NBA draft. The first question I have for you guys is whose draft stock rose after the NCAA tournament and whose went down?
Well, I think we can get past the top 3. I mean, I don't even think it's worth talking about the top 3 because I think the top 3 has been the top 3 for probably the last 4 or 5 months. I think it's going to be that way when it's all said and done. So yeah, I'd like to see some guys in the back half. I feel like there's a lot of guys that people aren't talking about. My big one, my sleeper, kind of your late first round, early second round pick. I like Admiral Schofield from Tennessee.
And a great name.
I like that.
Admiral Schofield from Tennessee. I mean, if you watch the tournament, you saw him play a couple extra games. I mean, I know everyone saw some of those NCAA tournament games, but not only that, but the SEC tournament when they took down Kentucky, I believe.
Right.
Playing under his mind. I mean, the dude is 6'5", but he plays like he's 7 feet. He rebounds. He can score off the dribble. He can hit the step back. Has a little bit of an outside game, but plays a lot bigger than he really is. I compare him, and it's kind of an easy comparison, but I think it's a true comparison. I think he's a little bit of a little Draymond Green type. I think you plug him in with one of those playoff teams that's a 1 seed, a 2 seed, a 3 seed, and he's your 5th starter, and 3-4 years later he's getting a max contract because he just contributes. He's a winner. He's a senior. I mean, you just don't even hear that coming out of college basketball anymore. But he's a senior. He's going to bring leadership. He brings offense. He can play a little bit of defense. So Admiral Schofield is one of my few to watch in that last half of that first round.
I would draft him just because his name. Admiral Schofield is a sick name.
You don't mess with that.
I would want him on my starting five just so I can hear the announcer just bring him into the ring.
You guys know that Twitter account, Captain Andrew Luck?
No.
There's a Twitter account, it's Captain Andrew Luck. It's like tweeting about like Andrew Luck as if he were like a Civil War general. Like,
yes,
heading into Kansas City.
Okay.
The troops are wary of this tall task we have ahead. I'm like, what if we did an Admiral Schofield Twitter account?
That would be perfect.
I like that one though. I think I think he's more athletic than Draymond Green is. I think Draymond Green, in my opinion, shoots like he has a backpack on.
Yeah.
Kind of just looks like
he's
struggling to get up there. But Admiral Schofield, I think the guy's built like an NFL tight end.
Yes.
He's strong. He's got a great outside shot. And
his name is Admiral.
And he's got the name going for him. I mean, this guy, I think, could be a really good player in the NBA.
100%.
I think somebody's going to get drafted late first round and then could eventually turn into being one of the top 10 best players in the entire draft, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sort of the insight that I like to hear from you guys. Who's that mid-round first guy into late round first, beginning of second round that can take off and be that next Draymond Green? Because if you look at Draymond Green, he's a huge success out of the draft. I mean, if you're an NBA player and you live up to the hype of Draymond Green, you did a pretty decent job. I mean, he's a big part of one of the most successful NBA teams in the last 5-6 years. So, I mean, that's your guy, Admiral Schofield. Griffin, you got one?
I'm going to go with a guy that's like kind of like a fringe lottery pick right now. It's like sitting like 15 to like 20
Donovan Mitchell range.
Yeah, he's like a guy that could kind of just explode onto the scene and potentially be like a top 10 guy right away. His name is Nickeil Alexander-Walker out of Virginia Tech.
Another decent name.
Guard, yes. I mean, it's anytime you have 3 names.
I gotta go one too. Mine might be the top.
So he can guard point guard, shooting guard, small forward. He's a great 3-point shooter. I mean, he's kind of like a total package. You're looking for an NBA player. You call him like a unicorn. The unicorn center is like 7-footer, can come outside, shoot the 3, and then like a unicorn, like small forward, guard, point guard kind of mold is exactly what Nickeil Alexander-Walker brings. He was like a senior leadership guy kind of for Buzz Williams this year, and I think he's going to be a stud in the NBA. I really do. He's like 6'5", guard, point guard, shooting guard, and small forward.
Who would you compare him to in the NBA now?
Ooh, that's a good question.
If you had said unicorn, I was thinking Porzingis right away, but he doesn't seem to be big enough to be.
I was kind of like unicorn as in like power forward center, and then like unicorn as in a guy that can guard all 3 of the non-post positions.
Okay. Who you got? Like an Andre Iguodala kind of?
You honestly just kind of like picked my brain. I was about to say Andre Iguodala. I was like this. He could be an Iguodala type. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, I mean,
a little guy, fifth starter, fourth starter, come bring him off the bench towards the end of his career. Leadership guy. I like that.
can still play with the guards.
Right.
He's quick enough. He's a good enough defender. And Andre Iguodala, he's good enough defender to guard anybody on the floor.
I think anyone in this draft, aside from the first couple, would be happy to be Andre Iguodala.
Yeah, again. I mean, if you're compared to an NBA player who's got a recognizable name, then you did a pretty decent job out of the draft. My pick, a guy who might have a better name than both of yours, a shooting guard from Wofford, Fletcher McGee.
Ooh.
The guy can shoot the lights out.
I think everyone's pretty familiar with Fletcher McGee.
But I think for going into it, maybe not. But the success Wofford had in the first round, his credibility went up a little bit in the first round in that win. You might not have thought Fletcher McGee is an NBA draft pick at all. I mean, just by the name alone, if you don't watch basketball, who's Fletcher McGee?
Do you think it's a first round pick?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
No, I was
about to be like, whoa,
I was
pump the brakes
thinking-
on
This is an
Fletcher
alternate
first rounder.
sleeper. This is the
This is my sleeper.
Okay,
This is my sleeper. I
You're
mean,
deep sleeper.
everybody. This is REM sleeper. Everybody.
Rem sleeper.
Thank you. Everybody can sort of use that outside shooting presence. You're down late in a game. You're down 6 with 18 seconds. Throw Fletcher McGee in there.
Mhm.
He can bang a 3. I mean, he's proven he can shoot the ball.
Another senior.
Another senior, another older guy, proven to be a pretty good competitor. I mean, Wofford wasn't supposed to win a game in the tournament. 14 seed came in, won a game. I mean,
0 for 11 in the game they lost to Kentucky, which they only lost by 5 or 6.
Well, Wofford was actually a 7 seed this year.
oh, is that right?
You said 14 seed.
I think it's 13. I was still
Roll
wrong.
for it. They were 7 seed. They beat Seton Hall in the first round.
Yep.
That was the game that Fletcher McGee kind of had his coming out party. He hit 11 threes.
See, there you go.
Couldn't miss. And then it was can Fletcher McGee shoot Wofford onto the Sweet 16 against Kentucky? And it was ice cold. It was ice cold against Kentucky. Just couldn't make a shot.
He had a heck of a career at Wofford.
Yeah, he
what is
really
he
did.
top 5 all time?
Great year. Great year for the Terriers. They went 30-4, and
There you
then
go.
beat Seton Hall. They won NCAA tournament game, first ever in school history, and then they live or die by the 3, and they just couldn't shoot it against Kentucky.
Right.
That's
the first
what it
one you
comes
saw,
down
they
to.
could be lights out.
Oh yeah,
How good
when
they
they're
could
on, they could beat anybody in the country.
Right.
But when they're
be.
off,
Anybody in the country?
oh yeah, if they were hitting
They
20,
looked pretty good.
23s a game, they were. Fletcher McGee could not miss in that
there was
first
a-
round game. He
they
could
were
not
a
miss.
Sleeper. He's a stud.
They were up 10 or 12 in the first half, I believe, against Kentucky.
Yeah, they were
That
up
was,
too.
again, without McGee being. I don't even think he scored from beyond the arc one time. I don't even think he ended up doing that. So they lose by 5 or 6. It's you almost have to argue that they probably could have beat anyone in the country if they shot okay.
Oh, yeah.
They were clean. You love teams like that. They're fundamentally sound.
Yeah.
Just move the ball. They're good inside. They're a good one to watch. But I have a couple more sleepers.
Give me another one.
I wanted to pick a couple others, but Schofield was my number 1. I like Carson Edwards, Purdue.
He's on my list too.
I think he's a second rounder, but we saw in the tournament. I think we're picking all tournament guys here, but rightfully so. Good 3-point shooter, has that junior senior leadership, can run the point. He's a stud. Tyler Hero.
I had him on my list too.
If he comes out, I don't know if he's declared or one way or the other, but he's on mock drafts right now. 3-point shooter who loves, everyone loves a shooter coming off the bench, 18 minutes a game, putting up, 3-pointers a game. And then his teammate, PJ Washington, got hurt in the tournament. I believe he declared for the draft, a sophomore as of last year. Another guy, even though he's a sophomore, a little bit of a leader, can kind of score from anywhere on the floor, play defense with anybody. I think he's another one you watch in that later first round.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tyler Hero as well. He's exciting. He's a playmaker. Anybody would like to pick him up in a draft and show a little bit of a highlight tape going into his rookie season. Get some people going about him because he was a little bit underrated in the tournament. I feel showed up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, we don't know if he's declared. We don't know what his path is going to be yet, but definitely an underrated guy going into the draft. Just up to stock in the tournament. So that's what we're looking for. You got another one, Griffin?
Yeah, I got a guy actually who was not. He didn't play at all this year.
Ooh.
Actually, I think you guys can guess who it is, right?
He didn't play
Bol.
one game.
Bol, yes, he got it. There we go. Bol, the son of Manute Bol,
Manute Bol.
classically known for that picture he took with Muggsy Bogues,
Yep.
the tallest man ever in the NBA,
Yes.
Next to the
lined up
shortest.
against the shortest man ever in the NBA. But yeah, this is his son, Bol, 7'2". Just like you said earlier, we're talking about the unicorn center power
He's a
forward.
unicorn.
He is. He can stretch the floor. He can shoot the 3. He can drive. The only concern is that he didn't play this year.
Right.
So some teams have him inside their top 10 just because of the potential he has. Some
Right.
teams have him outside the top 20. So he really is kind of like the ultimate wild card. He could very well go top 10, and I wouldn't have a problem with it. The guy's 7'2". He can dribble like a point guard. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Because this is what the NBA is turning to, those unicorn players. Either you're going to be 7 foot and do everything, or like 6'7" to 6'5", and you got a guard, shooting guard, point guard, small forward. You got to be fast enough to do that.
Yeah, there's a red flag though. He didn't play at all. How long can he be healthy?
The injury concern is
Yeah.
definitely. That's why I'm like some teams will have him inside their top 10. Some
Right.
teams will not even have him inside their top 20, just because of that injury concern.
He's a guy you just take a chance on.
Exactly.
If you're a team that has, I don't know what the layout is this year, but if you're a team that has 2 first-round picks, you're taking a lottery ticket on him,
I
and
don't know if anyone has
you'd be happy to take him with one of your first-round picks, no matter where you're going.
Celtics. I feel like the Celtics have had like
Possibly.
2 first-round picks for the last
I mean,
like
there's
half
going to be
decade.
some trades. There's a lot of, it's the top 3 this year, really, that's going to be the chase for these teams. But if you're a 4, 5, 6 seed, you might see, or spot, you might see these guys trading down, getting whatever, multiple.
Well, yeah, you want to talk about a guy that kind of played himself out of the top 5, but Cam Reddish. Cam
Yeah,
Reddish before the
He's going
year.
like
His
mid
first
teens
time,
right now.
Yeah, I saw him, the highest I saw him locked was like 10, and I'm like, this is a guy that came into the year, we're thinking him and then his 2 other Duke teammates are going to be all guaranteed top 5 picks.
Right.
Reddish did not have the year that people thought, so he's mocked right now, like, I think, like I said, the highest is 10. He could very well go 10 to 15.
I think too with Reddish though, I think he was almost so overshadowed by his teammates, not in a bad way. I mean, he definitely contributed and did what he had to do. But I think as the combine goes on and these, scrimmages go on, private workouts go on, he's going to climb back up because people are going to remember what his talent level really is. He didn't play bad by any means. It's just that
He didn't live up to the hype.
Yeah, I mean, some of these guys had a good tournament, a good end of the season. They climbed their way up again. I think Reddish will find his way back up in that top 10. Maybe not 4 or 5, but he's definitely good enough to go top.
I agree with you. In that he will climb back up there in the draft. He was overshadowed because guy like Zion, R.J. Barrett, those guys are put on the spotlight every time they shoot the ball.
Here, let me pose a question to you guys.
Okay.
In terms of SIG value and SIG, price, is Zion going to be comparable to when LeBron James came into the league in 2003?
Absolutely.
I
In
mean,
terms of like memorabilia,
yeah.
memorabilia stock,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It depends though. I mean, LeBron is an upper deck guy. I believe he still is.
Yes.
And upper deck is a little more careful on what they do. At least they seem to be on signings. They are smart about it. He's not signing every other 6 months. So it'll be interesting because Zion kind of controls that right now. I mean, he can kind of go any way he wants to, and obviously the amount you're available affects your SIG price too. But if he's smart, I'm sure he's got the right people around him. It's going to happen. I'm sure he'll do something similar. I would guess it would be close to LeBron.
I think the way that social media goes now, that was a little bit different than when LeBron was coming into the league. His value would be very similar with the way that Bleacher Report and ESPN put that guy on the spotlight. Even when he's not playing, they post about him on their social media. He has so much hype through college, and now his memorabilia, his autographs and everything like that will be skyrocketing. I think so, just because the way he's put on a pedestal and things like that.
I agree.
But he lived up to it.
That's why I compare him to LeBron. I don't think anyone's really seen a player coming into the NBA with this much hype and this much attention around him really since LeBron. I mean, they can't really. No one else really comes to mind.
Right.
Especially LeBron coming out of high school, and then Zion very well could have come out of high school if that was still a thing. But it's gonna be very interesting to see. I mean, they had a camera follow him around.
Yeah.
Just the whole. I don't think I've ever seen a basketball game. Just a camera solely dedicated to Zion Williamson and the hype around this guy.
Well, the lottery's coming up too, and I think that our answer will change. I mean, we know Zion's going to be through the roof no matter what he signs or whatever series he's in. He's going to be through the roof. But, I mean, there's not a lot of big markets up in that top 5. I think Chicago and New York are 2 out of the 4 or 5 that have that real chance of getting the number 1 pick. Otherwise, you're looking at Cleveland, Phoenix,
right?
Kind of,
super small.
Washington.
Not huge markets. Yeah, if he goes to New York or Chicago, I mean, game on.
Yeah, that's gonna be
insane.
Zion everywhere.
And
Zion everywhere.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see on that. He's gonna be through the roof, but market will affect, I think.
Yeah, I think the Knicks win the lottery. The Knicks take Zion, just because It's gonna happen. I mean,
Don't tell me that as a Bulls guy. Don't tell
no, I don't want to accept
Well,
it.
I
as
mean,
a
we're all
Bulls guy.
Bulls guys. I just think because the Bulls got their guy with Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, we know, just how that goes. But
Right.
Zion, I think now it's kind of like, all right, the Knicks time. When was the last time the Knicks were relevant with Melo, right? And they weren't even that good with
me.
Jeremy
That was
Lin.
4 or 5 seed. I think it was
Linsanity.
before that even.
Linsanity.
No, not Jeremy Lin.
So I
So
think we all know the
True, they have
NBA. The NBA has their kind of ways of
Yeah,
making
it's supposed to be random.
yeah
It's supposed to be.
bigger market teams. They're not going to let New York suck forever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the Knicks, I think I agree with you. I think the Knicks are going to end up getting Zion. Fingers crossed the Bulls get the 2 and pick Ja Morant.
That'd be huge.
Because I think that's the position they're really in need of is a point guard. I think Zach LaVine can play point guard, but he's not your ideal point guard. I think he's much better at shooting guard. So
Right.
I'm fingers crossed for Ja Morant.
Bring back
Ja
Derrick
Morant.
Rose.
Yeah.
If you don't get Ja, I'm on Team Derrick Rose. Bring him back.
Yeah, he
It's probably
said
not the
he would
best
come
move,
back.
but it's the move my heart wants.
He would come back and play for the Bulls again.
Patrick Beverly. We can talk NBA.
I love Patrick Beverly. The Kevin Durant irritator.
Playoffs. Yeah.
I think you either love or you hate Patrick Beverly.
I love him.
I'm not on the
He's a
boat.
Chicago
I love
guy,
him.
too.
Not on
I mean,
Patrick
he's from
Beverly.
Chicago.
Well, I'm anti-Kevin Durant, so I'm all Patrick Beverly.
Do you think you can beat Kevin Durant in a fight?
If I got low enough, low man wins. Hear that? Low man wins.
Off the cuff question there. There you go. I hate to put you on the spot, but I just did that. So we talked a little bit about guys that decreased in value throughout the season. Sorry, the phone's ringing. Just pause that. Shut up, Mom. But who's a guy that decreased in value during the tournament? Do you have a guy that stands
Oh,
out?
like a faller?
Yes.
We talked about Cam Reddish, even though he wouldn't be my answer, because again, I don't think he played himself out of a position.
Right. He'll still be top 10.
Man, I don't know. I mean, overall, this tournament was so good that I don't know if there's anyone that really fell out of stock. I mean, not a lot of huge upsets early, so it's not like you're seeing your Jabari Parkers and Duke going down, as a 215 upset, and oh my God, there goes his value. Because again, a lot of the big teams that were supposed to win did win. The big players did show up. I don't know. I don't have anything really.
I think this might. I don't even know if where he's being mocked or if he's being mocked at all. But out of Kansas State, Dean Wade, he just didn't play for a second straight tournament.
He's a
doesn't
talent for
play.
Sure. I don't think he's mocked super high, but he's in there.
Just, I mean, you can't really
That
gain
joke-
stock if you don't play.
Another
So
one of
you
those somewhat unicorns, 7-footer you can
Yeah.
search for.
Mm-hmm.
Plays athletic, but
Yeah, no one really comes to
That's
mind.
a pretty good. That's a pretty good one. Just because the guy who didn't show up.
He didn't show up. He literally did not
He
show up.
literally-
Yeah, again,
Yeah.
we talked about
And they did get upset by the Anteaters, UCI.
Yeah.
I love that name.
Which
One of the
wasn't
best
really an
mascots.
upset. I think we saw that one coming, but
13-4.
yeah,
That's right.
that was a hot
I
pick.
think every 13
That
seed
was a
won,
hot pick.
right? Or every 12 seed won this year? Every 12 seed won?
No, Auburn. Auburn.
Other than
Remember,
Auburn,
they
they
just
almost blew it,
escaped
yeah.
New Mexico
yes.
State.
Other than that, I think every 12 seed won this year.
Yeah, Liberty won.
But again, Liberty was I think more people pick Liberty just because it's one of those hot picks.
Right.
Every year people pick and it doesn't happen, but every
Oregon
hot pick this
won.
year won. Yeah, Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, that Oregon, Wisconsin was really
50-50
That was
ball
a
game.
toss.
yeah,
Right.
point in the air.
Usually when you think NCAA tournament, you think, oh, there's this 5th best team in the nation in terms of where they're ranked.
Right.
Should walk all over the 12th best team. But this year it's oh, that's a 50-50 ball game. Like you said, Oregon, Wisconsin, pretty much as even as it comes, in terms of talent wise.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy that I missed, and people that went up in stock, to go back on that really quick, guy who was probably in the top 10 regardless, but moved into maybe a lottery pick, Rui Hachimura from Gonzaga.
Yeah.
I'm just a fan of names. So Rui Hachimura averaged 22 points a game for Gonzaga this year.
He's one that a lot of people know because the West Coast school that doesn't really play in the best conference, so it's not like they're getting national television recognition until about tournament time. Dude can score. He's solid.
He's a ball player.
I think I've seen mocks where he's going 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the Bulls.
Yeah,
if
to
the
the
Bulls happen to get the 4 pick, I think that would be hard to pass up.
Yeah.
You have Hachimura, Archie Diacono. That's going to be a wild night.
That's a deep backcourt.
That's all. I mean, it's just it'll work out perfect if we can get Hachimura. He's a scorer.
Right.
He's a ball player, and the Bulls sort of need that scorer other than Levine, who sort of did more than what people expect, I believe, in terms of scoring. He didn't come into the Bulls as that go-to scorer all the time. Feed him. He's going to get us a bucket. Now for the Bulls, all right, let's get Levine the ball. Let's see what he can do isolation-wise.
Yeah.
So NBA draft talk sort of wrapped up. Griffin, not your strong suit here. We're going to talk a little bit about cards.
It will be.
Oh,
one day,
certainly.
because
Every episode is a building block.
You'll be sucked in. You'll be as bad as us. You'll be holiday
Right.
boxes, jumbos, cases. Next before you know it, you're done.
Right. You'll be broke. You'll be on the side of the road somewhere, stranded, naked. So we're going to talk a little bit about cards in the card memorabilia world right now.
This guy.
Bowman 2019 is up and ready. I mean the rookie chase for Bowman right now is on.
It's on. You know, you got your cover boy Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Eloy's on there too. You got the Padres trio or duo, Urias and all those guys in there. Tatis.
Yeah. Wander Franco
from the Rays. So I mean, the box this year I think is the biggest it's been in probably a couple of years. I mean, last year we knew that Acuna and Albies and a couple of those other guys were coming, but we didn't. I don't think the hype was as big as it was to start, like it is this year, where you know Eloy's already in the majors, Tatis is already in the majors, Vladimir Guerrero should be in the majors. His AAA numbers are insane. So I think the hype right now is the biggest it's ever been, and it's going to be a great product to break it that we've seen. So
and thinking about it a little bit. The search for the autographs right now is through the roof. I mean, guys will just buy boxes and boxes and boxes, not care about the base, not care about the chromes, the first edition chromes, which we love. I mean, we're big fans of the inserts.
And like we said
stuff.
last episode, I mean, we're set collectors. We want everything. I mean, we love the autos. I mean, that's what we're really chasing at the end of the day. But I mean, to build that whole set, it just looks so great, especially with the chromes.
Yeah, the chromes look great. I mean, there's inserts in there that pop. I mean, that's what sells the set for me. When I see those cool inserts, when they bring up the stats that the rookies or the prospects have already in AAA, I love that kind of stuff.
Right.
I love researching players, the guys, that we opened a box each, and we did one here in the UA studio a little bit earlier today. I mean, we got an autograph in every box, so that's awesome. I mean, you're guaranteed one auto in every box, which is cool. But again, we're not really hunting for that kind of stuff. I mean, a little bit. I am a little. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if I pulled,
you'd like to get your money back. That's for sure.
Right. And a lot of the autographs over time will help you make your money back. I mean, if you hang on, like you mentioned, every sort of hit that you get, every autograph is a lottery ticket. Is that guy gonna pan out? Is that guy not gonna pan out? So we've seen a lot of them go for like $120 to $150 for the hobby box. Is that too much for one auto and a lottery ticket, you think?
I mean, we opened 3 boxes so far, and probably we only got one. You pulled Luciano.
Yes, Marco Luciano
from the Giants. He's one of their top prospects.
Yes.
super fast speedster outfielder.
Yes.
We've seen his prices going around auctioning on eBay already for about a price of what a box is, maybe a little bit higher. And then the other 2, again, lottery tickets. I pulled
2 twins, right?
Both of them happen to be twins, the ones that I ripped. Ryan Costello, he's a corner infielder, low A for the Twins, and he's far from the majors. Not doing a ton right now, but had a decent year last year, drafted last year. The other one was another third baseman. I don't even remember his name, but it was numbered to 250. It was a beautiful card. I mean, on-card autos look amazing. But again, it's like, 2 years ago, pulled an Acuna and was like Googling him. So,
and look at that.
It's like, okay, like if I sold that then, I'd probably get $50-$60. I mean, he was on the Braves' radar a little bit. He was, a top 20 guy, but he was nowhere near being a top 100 prospect, or at least at the top of it. Held on to him and finally let him go last year, about mid-season, which I'm kicking myself on now because I could have let him go for a lot more now. But yeah, lottery tickets. So the set is beautiful, in my opinion.
Right.
I mean, everything looks great. I mean, even the paper base looks good. I mean, not a lot of value, if any, there. I mean, you get a buck a card, maybe.
Right.
More so on the veteran side. I mean, you're not getting anything for that. But a couple of the rookies, you'll have guys who will collect and slab or whatever. But yeah, overall, like you said, the inserts this year, incredible. The pipeline trio, I mean, the colors pop on that chrome. The top 100 one is always super cool.
Yeah.
They have an insert for each of the top 100 prospects. We pulled a couple of those in our break. I mean, there's probably like 3 or 4 in each box.
Do they go off the MLB top 100 list, or does Bowman make their own?
Bowman makes their own because each year it's a little bit different. Like, I want to say, who was the top guy? Like, Ohtani was like 1 last year, but I think according to like MLB pipeline, like Acuna was number 1 or something like that. So, or vice versa, I can't remember. But they make their own. But it's pretty close.
That's cool.
I mean, I think we pulled Victor Robles today.
Yeah, he's like number 4 in MLB.
Yeah, and he was like a top 10 guy. The 30th anniversary ones.
Yeah, those are cool. Those are
they
cool
look
inserts.
awesome. I mean, they look like they're autographed. They're not, but they're like the throwback Bowman looking ones, kind of like the heritage type insert of the series.
It's kind of funny they put like a Trout autograph, but it's not actually an autograph.
And you always see
it's
the
like
guy in the
30th
paper and he's
anniversary.
like, hey, I haven't seen any comps on this. Like, what is this for?
Yeah, it's like
the
5
first
seconds,
comment in like 5 seconds is like, dude, that's like
Yeah,
that's,
it's
that's not an actual, but you know.
Yeah, it's not what you're looking for there.
But yeah, I mean, the autos are huge. We didn't happen to pull any of the 3 huge ones that we broke, but yeah, they're out there.
And the fun part about Bowman 2019 is that you open a pack of cards and then you research and then you learn a bunch of stuff. Like the guy I got, found out he's just like this speedster outfielder. He runs like a 6'8", 60, which is lightning quick.
Right.
I mean, and he's the number 2 international prospect for the Giants. And I didn't know that. I woke up and was like, who the hell, who's this guy? But he panned out. He did great. So I mean, hopefully I'm gonna hang on to it and see if he rises in value, if he rises in value for his team. Is what I'd like to see. I'd like to see him pan out because I had this rookie card when he was in Double-A, which is awesome.
Well, yeah, the Giants. I mean, don't really know much about cards at all, but I know baseball.
Yeah.
And the Giants are starved for young talent right now.
Yeah.
So that could definitely be a
And
guy
then
you can see.
and that was going to bring me to my next point. Have we seen what in breaks, like what? I mean, we obviously know the chase teams, what some of these are going for. I mean, who are we looking at here? Like the Rays are probably hot. Padres are probably hot.
Yeah, the Blue Jays are
The Blue
by
Jays,
far
yeah.
just they have the Bo Bichette.
Which we
who's a
pulled.
stud,
We
yeah.
pulled
We got, like, one of the inserts of him.
to 75. That was a nice.
Yeah,
card.
I mean, if the Blue Jays, you could spend $100 a box just trying to get a card out of it.
Right.
And people will do it all day. People will buy 4 or 5 breaks in advance just to have their spot
It's funny to
reserved.
me because I think we talked about this a little bit last episode, where it's like the hot teams, the teams that everybody wants. I mean, we just named them all: the Blue Jays, the Padres, the Rays.
Yep. Athletics.
Athletics. They're in there. I mean, they always got top prospects, but it's
White Sox got some guys.
White Sox.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
got some guys.
it's teams that 3 years ago, it was like they're the bottom of the barrel
Right.
as far as the PYTs, the pick your teams, break prices. But now it's like the Cubs are still going to be high because you're still going to have like your Chris Bryant throw-in autos, your Andre Dawson throw-in autos. Your Phillies, you're going to have your throw-in autos of their current stars. Angels will always be up there.
Right.
So it's like now everything's expensive because your big teams will always be expensive, and then your Rays and
Yeah.
your Padres are through the roof because they're prospects too. So it's going to be an expensive break season for baseball fans.
But the good part about that is if you do one of those where you like buy a spot and get a random team, you can't be disappointed.
Right, that's a good point too.
Because everybody seems to have some sort of value now. Like
Right.
you can get the Tigers and be like, okay, they got like
Casey Mize is
like
first pick
Christian
last year.
Stewart, who's
Yeah.
a stud. I mean, he's a prospect. I mean, the guy. I mean, you can't go wrong right now
Yeah.
in getting a random team.
Faedo, he's another Tiger.
There you go. We're just rattling off
Yeah,
prospects
yeah.
now. See, this is all learning.
Right.
This is all learning from cards.
Right, and it's a lot of fun. It keeps you updated on, come trade deadline season, half these names when they're, moving into big deadline deals and stuff. So, there's a lot of benefit to just being a fan and breaking Bowman. There's a lot you can learn, and it's a blast. I mean, 24-hour packs, 10 cards a pack. So, I mean, you get 240 cards out of it. It's just it's a good time to rip through.
Right. It is. It's fun. Like you said, 24 packs. You just sit there for half an hour,
Right.
open card after card, and you won't get
And then
tired.
you're like, all right, where's the next box?
Yeah, I'll go spend another
one
$150.
box is not enough.
Let's go get another one.
Yeah.
Griffin, here's my question for you. Since you're not a huge card guy, but we're going to make sure that you are a huge card guy, and we're going to teach you
Stepping stones.
Yes.
probably everything that we know. $125 to $150 for a hobby box. Not knowing much about cards, but knowing what we're talking about here, is that too much, you think, for one on-card autograph?
What are the odds that you pull like a Vlad Guerrero Jr. autograph or a Tatis Jr. autograph, or I mean, is there like any numbers you can behind it, or is it just dumb
There's
ones?
really no numbers, but they're in there.
It's kind of like a what's it to you scenario, It's
Yeah.
like what's it to you?
Right.
I'll start getting into more card collecting, just being in the sports memorabilia business, hanging out with you guys more. I think I'd probably pay like $130 a box.
Yeah,
That's just me right now. I don't know if I'd go $150, maybe $135 if I'm really feeling lucky that day.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'd definitely pay $120. I'd say the most I'd be willing to pay would be like $135.
And again, I think you get your value with Bowman because you're getting 24 packs of 10 cards.
Right.
It's not, you're not your higher end series where it's one pack of 6 cards. Like, you're guaranteed 2 autos, but at least if you're just a fan of sports cards, Bowman is worth the price because you can spend, draw that out and spend all day opening it because there's plenty to rip through.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned 24 packs. You could sit there.
I think you get a whole base set as far as veterans go, the 1 through 100. That you pull a whole hobby box. I think you get all 100 cards of those. 75%, 60% of the base paper for the prospects. Chrome's about 25-50% as far as Chrome prospects go. So I mean, like, you're almost completing the set just with one hobby box. So If you're a set collector like myself, it's worth just diving into one of those. And
Yeah, and the cards are beautiful.
yeah,
Like that, they'll look great in like a binder. Like a
anything
like
like
when you put them in a binder.
Yeah.
Put them all in the sleeves, put them all in the binder, get them numbered, get them in order, and they look great when you sit them down in a box like right now. And we're both into Gypsy Queen right now. It's just a super interesting
I'm
set.
wrapping up that set right now. I got just the short prints to chase. And
Yeah.
a couple of the fortune tellers, but yeah, that one was a great one this year too. The colors on that pop tops, those what they're doing as far as it looks good.
Yeah, and they're interesting. Like you guys you can get a card with a missing nameplate.
Yeah.
It's just super fun stuff.
That's
Short
super back.
prints. Yeah, exactly. Fun stuff like that. And Bowman's a little bit more traditional in terms of cards. And when you get into Gypsy Queen, when you get into like the Allen and Ginters and stuff like that, it's super non-traditional. So that's why people chase those, because they're fun. They're fun to pull and stuff like that. So my question for you guys, Vlad Jr., when's he going to be in the league? And how many home runs is he going to
When's
hit?
the service time up? when does that thing hit? 'Cause then he'll be up
Should
to
be
this.
like, I mean, if I memory serves me correctly, I think Chris Bryant was up with the Cubs like around this time, maybe like next week this time, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago or something.
I think the Blue Jays want to make sure they're out of it first. Like, okay, we're done, because it's like, if God forbid he comes up and then they're 81 and 81, and they're right in the middle. They say the worst place to be in sports is right in the middle. You either want to be, towards the bottom or towards the top. They want to get that top 5, top 10 draft pick, because that division's stacked. So I mean, they're going to lose probably a lot of games. So I think they'll be out of it first. They'll make sure their season's over, and then they'll bring them up when it's, when they're still in the clear to get that top.
So you don't think anytime soon?
No, I don't think anytime soon. I think if he's in AAA now, I think they're going to leave him down there for a month or two.
I think the public ridicule will force him to be in the majors by May 10th.
Yeah, as long as
I think
the
May
service
10th, I'm calling it will be in the majors May 10th.
May 10th?
Put a date.
And it's what, April 18th right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So less than a month from now, Vlad Jr.
May 10th or before.
I'll say the end of May,
May 10th or
early
before.
June. I think they're going to be out of it before he comes up.
All right, that's two relatively different comparisons. You want them to be out of it, and you think he can come in. You think he'll make a splash right
Let
away?
the kid play. I mean, everyone is just clamoring to see this guy in the major leagues. His numbers, we've mentioned AAA, he's too bleeping good to be in AAA right now.
It's kind of surprising that they haven't done the contract thing with him, where they did with Eloy, and all these young guys are signing those guaranteed contracts right now to get paid now, but kind of forego some money in the future. I'm surprised Vlad hasn't done anything, just because he's such a Canadian hero right now. I mean, his dad played for Montreal. Like, he is kind of if you were to bring up a guy, if you're the Blue Jays being a Canadian team, he's almost the connection you want to have. So I'm surprised they haven't worked something out. Maybe they are, but I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that going down the line.
Yeah, I mean, I just got an update on my phone yesterday that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit one out of the ballpark, like 460 feet or something absolutely ridiculous. No, granted, pitching's a little bit different when you get to the league. Those guys are the best of the best. But I think Vlad Jr., and it's going to be a big take.
Do you know what he's hitting now, right, in AAA? Like, just off the top of your head?
1,000?
No, I don't know.
360?
I think I heard today that, like, someone just was like, hey, do you see how crazy his numbers are? I know he's like tearing it up, but I don't know hard numbers. But I mean, the question is too is like, what position is he going to play? Is he going to come up and do? I mean, who's in front of him on the Blue Jays? I mean, I don't.
No, we don't really
follow. That's an actual question. Like, who is in front of him? I don't think there's anyone currently on the roster that's like couldn't be replaced.
Well, they got rid of Donaldson,
I mean, Donaldson's gone.
who's at third now.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, is there anyone that would be
is he
blocking him?
Is he a third baseman though? Like, I mean, I know like that's what he is, but like, I don't know.
Where's he going to come in and fit?
Doesn't really look.
Where's he going to come in and fit in the
He can play first. I mean, I know they got Justin Smoke, who I think snuck on the All-Star team last year.
He's good.
I don't know what he's doing this year, but I know he had like a big
hitter.
season and switch hitter.
He's nice. He's good.
Former huge prospect. I'm sure he was a Bowman guy at one time, but never really did anything until he got to the Blue Jays a little bit later in his career. Big home run guy, but he's more of a DH. I mean, if Vlad went over and played first, again, I don't know. I don't know what his defensive metrics are. I don't know what they're going to.
Maybe that's why the Blue Jays are sort of prolonging it.
They want to see where he can play.
They want to see who they can sort of flip flop around in their lineup, where they can put Smoke, where they can put him. Can they put him at DH? And then
I don't think it's like Vlad's in the minors, like we can't bring him up because Randall Grichuk's in center field.
Yeah, right.
I don't think there's anyone there that's like blocking them. I mean, I think they just signed him to an extension. So I mean, if you're signing Grichuk to an extension, it's not like you're like loaded with talent.
Yeah.
So I could be wrong.
I don't know. I've always been in the mindset if the guy's bat is good enough, like like you'll find somewhere.
Yeah, there's
you'll
always a
find
spot.
somewhere to put him if the guy can hit. Like
Right.
Chris Bryant, like when he came up, is he gonna be a third baseman? I don't know. Is he have the fielding chops to be a hot corner infielder, and then like you're sticking at third, but sometimes play him in the outfield. Like his bat's good enough. Got to have him in the lineup. Same thing with Vlad Guerrero Jr. His bat is good enough.
I mean, it's
to
not that
find
hard
a
in
spot
the
for
AL.
him.
It's like they literally
Exactly.
have a position called designated
Exactly.
player where you just hit. So
Yeah.
just bring him
Yeah,
up and
right.
hit, so.
Yeah, you could show up in sweats.
Yeah.
Go up and swing the
Really,
bat and go back
shorts,
to go back to the dugout.
Socks, yeah.
I think Vlad Jr.'s in the MLB within 2 weeks from now.
Ooh, so he's.
Today's
Yeah.
one.
I thought I was.
He's-
I thought I was ambitious.
He's
going
uh,
I'd say end of May.
end of May.
Or
Yeah, that's it.
end of April.
End of April.
You're
Yeah,
saying
end of
April?
April. End of April.
You're
April.
mid-May. I'm end of May.
May 10th. I said before.
I think
May
he
10th.
comes
I think
up
that's a good point, though. I think they're trying to figure out where they're going to play
Right.
defensively.
I mean, a lot of players in the MLB right now can sort of play everywhere. Not everywhere, but they have different positions that they can compete at. Like you see a guy like
coming to an MLB diamond near you.
yeah, like Chris Bryant. Like he came up pure third baseman.
Yeah.
Now he plays left field for the Cubs once in a while because the Cubs need him to fill that hole. Like a Ben Zobrist. I know he's considered like a utility player. He's supposed to be able to
He
play.
came up, he was a shortstop.
That's it.
I mean, he was a shortstop, and he doesn't even, that's one position he doesn't play anymore.
Nope,
Shortstop.
he won't. He'll play everyone on the field but there now. He'll play
There was
second.
a card that I had in MLB The Show the other day, playing like the Battle Royale
Yeah,
mode.
yeah, yeah.
Ben Zobrist, literally, you could put him anywhere except pitcher catcher.
Really?
Not
you
even
go.
kidding. It's like center field, left field, right field, shortstop.
He's
second base.
done
It's
it.
crazy.
I mean, he's done it. I mean, that's kind of the product for playing
Ultimate
for Joe Madden,
utility.
too, is
That's true.
You
Joe
don't have a
Madden.
position when you're playing for Joe Madden, so.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, guys nowadays, you play everywhere. You're just not, all set on one position.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, like Vlad Jr. He might have to come in and play 2-3 different positions
Right.
if he wants to get a shot.
As long
I
as
mean,
he
he will
hits.
get a shot.
As long as he hits, they're gonna find somewhere.
That's
He's
what I
hitting-
mean. Look at the home runs now. The MLB is like, I don't know what they're doing, but the home runs are through the roof. If he can hit, who cares?
Yeah.
They'll put him at pitcher. I mean,
Yeah.
just let him hit.
As long as you can just support yourself as much as you can,
Yeah,
just go ahead and throw a couple meatballs down the middle. That's cool though. That's a good topic. I like the Vlad Jr. stuff because it is exciting. And for baseball, that's such a long season.
Right.
It's so long, 162 games, and it seems like it goes on forever. It's really hyped up for the first 2-3 weeks. Oh, this guy's on fire. This guy's great. Okay, we'll check in on him in 4 months from now.
Right.
We'll see how he's doing. So it's cool to have a relevant topic in baseball that we can sort of keep an eye on for the next month or two to see where this kid.
And not
comes
just
from.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It'll be Eloy. I mean,
Right.
he's off to a good start for Chicago. I mean, he's batting average a little lower. He only has 2 bombs, I think, but he's right in the middle of that order. He's playing every day, so he'll come around. I think the guys in San Diego are already killing it.
Yeah,
He's-
Urias is
they're
going to be a
flying.
stud.
They're flying already, and then I'm sure we'll see the kid from the Rays. I think, right? Is he coming up this year? Wander.
Wander Franco, he's supposed to be.
He's a shortstop. I know they got a young shortstop there already. I'm not too familiar where he is in the minor leagues, but I know people are crazy about him right now.
And the Rays are good. Like,
Yeah,
the
they're
Rays for
like 4 or 5 losses or whatever. I mean,
That's awesome.
and it's like I don't know. I think we talked a little bit last week on how things will even out, but I think that's the one team that might stay up there. I mean, they're just they went to the World Series. I mean, not too long ago with not a crazy amount of talent. I mean, Longoria, some decent
Who
pitching.
did they lose to?
I want to say they lost to Phillies.
that sounds right.
Phillies.
Yeah, it was
Cole
like
Hamels,
2007,
Cliff
2008.
Lee, Roy
Kind of.
Halladay.
They had Longoria still.
Yeah, and the
They had,
Phillies.
they had James Shields still.
That does
too.
sound right. The Phillies sounds right.
Wade
Yeah,
Davis,
Phillies.
I think, was like the 5th starter still. He wasn't a closer yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wade Davis.
What Madden days for them.
That was Joe
that's
Madden.
what.
Yeah, I think it was Phillies.
That's what put Joe Madden on the map.
Yeah.
Was
100%.
his managerial chops with the Tampa Bay. Were they the Rays? They were the Rays. They were the Devil Rays.
Yeah, that was the first year where they were the Rays because everyone was superstitious. Like, oh my God, they dropped the name Devil, and now they're like,
I personally
Petty
loved the
players.
Devil Ray name. I thought it just kind of just added to
Yeah.
the whole team
they had like
aspect,
a
but I don't know why they
90s
switched it.
look. I liked it though. That
Yeah,
old
the retro look.
yellowy blue.
Yeah.
that was cool. Yeah, I liked
Get the
it.
manta ray on the cap.
Uh-huh.
I love those.
Yeah.
And then like the kind of like orange or not orange, like bright yellow,
Like the
like
Wade blog
fading.
stays.
Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Yeah, those were
I
sweet.
I think that the world went a little soft when they changed the name of the Devil Rays to the
I would
Rays
be
because
all-
Devil's too mean.
I would be all on board for Devil Rays.
Oh yeah, bring it back. Bring the Devil Rays back.
to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, 100%.
That could be awesome. I mean, you never know. I mean, it seems to me that a lot of teams are going back to the throwback ways. You see teams break out throwback uniforms all the time.
People love the '90s. It's coming back. The retro look of the '90s is definitely coming back.
I think so.
I like it. I'm here for it.
And then, guys like, when they do that kind of stuff, it sells tickets because you want to see different stuff.
Right.
Like I said, it's 162 games. You got to throw some curveballs in there.
Well, you see the minor leagues do it all the time where it's like they'll change your name like one day.
Oh yeah, promos out the wazoo.
Like
totally.
I don't even know, like the always playing off movies or
yeah, they have
like the Fresno Grizzlies. I know just off the top of my head, were like the Fresno Tacos.
Yeah,
like, or
just
something. They had taco hats and whatever.
And they probably
it's fun.
sold more like taco hats than they did like.
They definitely did.
So
yeah.
It's always cool to see a mix up the uniforms.
Star Wars nights, always a big one.
Yeah.
May the Fourth be with you.
Yeah.
They always have Star Wars nights, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're a nerd, Griffin.
Hey.
So, Bowman 2019 pretty much wrapped it up. Going to be a great year for cards.
Yeah, overall my review is it's very good.
It's fun.
That's all you need to know.
It's a lot of cards.
Looks good.
It's a lot of shiny cards. It's going to be a good year for cards, and it already has started to take off in terms of.
If you're a baseball fan, buy the box, and you might quadruple your money.
Right.
So
and even if you don't, you still learned a lot about. If you're a baseball fan, that's definitely the way to go.
We give it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, if I can give more, I could.
Sure.
I would.
Sure.
But the next topic that I kind of wanted to talk about, since we are so big into football memorabilia over here, it's sort of talking about the defensive side of the ball today. What kind of defensive players, since it is a quarterback run market with the Brady's, with the Mahomes, with the Rodgers and Breeze.
And then running backs and receivers, quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, tight ends, and then kind of everyone else.
Well, I think
right.
You can't argue that quarterbacks are for sure number one.
It runs the game.
Yep.
Like when you go and you eBay search autographed football helmet, you search for a quarterback.
Right.
Unless you're looking for an individual guy. If you're trying to make some money on something, you look for a quarterback because those are the most recognizable names. So my question to you guys today, in terms of autographed memorabilia, what defensive player in the draft or in the NFL right now, no older guys, kind of stacks up to that quarterback value in your mind?
I think we kind of talked a little bit about this last week when we were kind of game planning if Bosa would be there.
Right.
I don't know if that's...
We chatted about it a little bit,
Yeah,
but I kind of want to
think-
know.
I don't think he's my answer. I don't know if there's anyone. I mean, it's so hard to say. I mean, until they even play a snap. But I don't think I see anyone personally in this draft that's going to be, it's like I said, it's so hard to tell. I mean, J.J. Watt was he top 10? Was he like 8 or 9 or whatever? I mean, nobody knew he was going to be that good.
Like, even right now in the NFL, when you think of defensive phenoms, you think J.J. Watt.
Right.
And his stuff isn't even as desirable as a quarterback.
I don't think we even we can compare, but the quarterbacks will always reign supreme. A guy like Von Miller, I mean, actually, I take that back. A guy who just did a signing recently, Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
I don't know if
That's
his
a good
value
one.
will stay what it was. I mean, I know he wasn't cheap, that's for sure, from Fanatics, but we've seen what he's been going for in some groups and just on the open market, and it's definitely quarterback.
There you go. That's
whether it stays that way. If he continues to sign, Bear stuff, or if it's another 2 years before he does another one. We saw his stuff 2 years ago with the Raiders, but this was his first one with the Bears. Yeah, prices are through the roof with him and the Bears right now.
He's kind of an outside the box one. I mean, 2 years, I definitely would have felt a lot better about this argument. But what about Jalen Ramsey? He burst onto the scene his rookie year out of Florida State with Jacksonville, led them to the AFC Championship game with that defense. I mean, last year we all know was a step backwards, but I have to imagine his value after that 2017 season was near quarterback. I mean,
He's popped
he
up
was
a
a
little.
stud. Like in that rookie year, I know the defense was like nowhere near as good as it was 2 years ago, but I mean, if they can bounce back, I mean, now they got Nick Foles at quarterback. If that defense can get back to close to what it was in 2017, I mean, think about corners of the past like Champ Bailey and Ty Law, like they're
Hall of Famers. This year. Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey, I think he's got the talent to do it, and I mean, if he keeps putting up the same numbers,
there you go. That's
why
a
not?
comparison. And Jalen Ramsey is a guy who hardly ever signs anything. We never hear of like this huge Jalen Ramsey extravaganza.
We've seen him come through a couple times.
Not very often.
The last
very limited.
12 months, a year.
Von Miller hasn't really. I mean,
he hasn't done anything recently.
Yeah.
But again, I think we're so big with markets here. We talk about markets all the time affecting price. Jalen Ramsey's in Jacksonville.
Right.
So it's like, is the demand there outside of that little bubble in Florida? Yeah, of course. I mean, if you're just a fan, you want to see that, but it's not your Dallas, it's not your New York. I'm just kind of thinking of guys who don't see, who've been around for so long. Again, I don't really compare him to a quarterback. His price might be around there, but nowhere near, like, obviously, a Manning or a Brady. Obviously, they're in the class of their own. What do you think of a guy like Earl Thomas?
I was just going to bring him up.
He's, he made his heyday in
He's
Seattle.
been around the block for sure.
He was hot when he was in Seattle. Now, I can't remember the last time I saw an Earl Thomas thing come through here.
Yeah. No.
Now he's in Baltimore, so he switched markets. I don't think a lot of people realize that. He was kind of acquired a free agent signing. But yeah, when Earl Thomas in his heyday in Seattle, I would have loved to get a lime green paint pen on that replica helmet, that blue navy. Oh my god, that would look sick. So I think today, if I were to do a signing with Earl Thomas, I would still get him to sign a Seattle helmet.
Yeah.
That'd be my go-to.
Yeah, I think so too. Do you think he would be one of those guys that would like refuse to
No,
sign
I
something
don't
to
think
Seattle?
so. Legion of Boom. Him and Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman's another one.
Cam Chancellor?
LOB.
Cam Chancellor's still there, and
I'm just saying he did leave on a little bit rocky terms.
Yeah.
We have seen guys sort of refuse to sign a couple things.
No, I don't think he'd refuse. I don't think any player with that great of a history with that team, no matter what happened, would refuse.
Fair.
Refuse that.
That's fair. I was thinking a guy like Patrick Peterson.
Yeah.
A guy who just his name is well known as a defender. He's a skilled defender, meaning he'll be a guy to make big time plays in the secondary. I think those guys do pretty well in terms of autograph value. Guys in the secondary that can make big interceptions, that can return interceptions for touchdowns, that also do punt and kick returns. Guys like that. Patrick Peterson's a star example of someone like that. A guy like Ed Reed, someone who doesn't really sign a whole lot, new Hall of Famer. CSA show guy who did very well because he doesn't sign a whole lot. So those kind of defenders, guys that are standing their own right now in terms of the autograph world.
Patrick Peterson, he's got the accolades. He's made a Pro Bowl. I don't think anyone else can say this. He made a Pro Bowl every single year he's been in the league.
Yeah.
Awesome.
9 straight years of Pro Bowl season. If there's going to be a guy to compare to quarterback value right now in terms of like inscriptions and accolades, this is the guy, Patrick Peterson. And like Jalen Ramsey, kind of in that little smaller market of like a Phoenix or Arizona, like Jacksonville. I don't know. Like if Patrick Peterson was on the Cowboys, like, oh my gosh. Like Earl Thomas. Remember how hot the Earl Thomas to Dallas talk was?
Yeah.
You imagine his value if he was on the Cowboys now instead of going to the Ravens? Like he'd already be doing stuff with Dallas.
I think it kind of leads in me in the point I just made is Patrick Peterson. I think if he's kind of been on the outs with Arizona for probably 2 years since they've been down. I think he kind of has a Khalil Mack effect where when Khalil Mack was with the Raiders, there was a lot of Raider stuff going around with Khalil Mack. And, there might still be, just don't see it because nobody's chasing anybody.
Nobody
wants it.
But,
Nobody wants it.
Patrick Peterson, he's out there a little bit. You see him come through a lot, and he's out there in the boxes and whatnot. But I think he could have that Khalil Mack effect to where, next thing you know, he's on the Jets, and he doesn't sign for a whole season. It's like, oh, dude, Patrick Peterson's doing his first signing as a Jet, big market, or he got paid. We could see a guy like that totally set the world on fire, just like Khalil Mack just did.
Khalil Mack got paid too.
Yeah,
so that also kind of would maybe decrease his interest in wanting to do signings. Like, hey man, I got like $125 million just sitting here. Like, I don't need autograph money. Like,
how much are you paying? $50,000? No, I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll pass on $50K. I'm like, who else can say that besides someone who just signed a massive deal or a year before?
Yeah.
But yeah, like you made the point, Patrick Peterson, if he does go to another team, holds out. Has Le'Veon Bell done anything with the Jets yet?
No.
Have we seen any Le'Veon Bell Jets stuff? Because that's going to be a hot one.
Antonio Brown Raiders
gear.
A lot of people are taking their Steelers, ripping off the decals and converting, and not quite the same thing, but
if you're a Raiders fan, that's what you want.
You could do it too.
You don't care about that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
You'd be like, well, I have the newest, coolest guy on my team.
Right.
I got mine.
Right.
Antonio Brown, Raiders, Blaze.
Right.
Had someone converted from a Steelers helmet.
Yeah, for sure.
But I always like to think about that stuff. Like, which defensive player stands his ground in the memorabilia game? Because, it's like what I mentioned, like you can't go very far in memorabilia without mentioning a big quarterback. So I think we nailed some pretty decent ones.
I would like to see I don't know what his value would have been, but Julius Peppers. I always man, that would have been sweet to get some Carolina stuff with him in his heyday. Obviously not so much anymore, but yeah, Julius Peppers in his heyday would have been up there.
DeMarcus Ware Cowboys,
which that's out there. You can get your hands on some of that stuff. But yeah, the defense never holds up to quite the level of a quarterback, but that's just the nature of. That's why everyone wants to be.
What about quarterbacks? What about quarterbacks of the defense? Luke Kuechly.
Yeah, he's out there.
He's a guy.
Everyone has other Keekleys. Those are great.
Perennial. Yeah, I mean, does he sign a lot? I don't know.
Yeah, no,
he does.
I would say he's
Relatively.
a lot.
Bobby Wagner.
The thing that
Wagner's
Keekly
cool.
does well with, he has some pretty cool inscriptions. Like he writes like "Keep Pounding."
Keep
on all
I
his
love
stuff.
the
That's-
Panthers
That's one of the coolest
slogan.
things.
Keep pounding. They pound that big drum.
Yeah, Keekly's a really good example of a guy that can hold his own value because he has like the inscriptions. He's the quarterback of the defense,
Right.
and it's kind of funny that we even have to mention the quarterback on the defense when we're trying to get away from
Well, you get
quarterbacks.
that green
but that's
dot
what
on the
he
back, you know,
That's what
talking
he
to the
did.
defensive coordinator, just like the quarterback's talking to the offensive
did. Yeah,
coordinator.
exactly.
Everyone loves the green dot on the helmets, by the way.
Sell
Love the
those.
green dot.
That thing does
Love
great.
the green dots.
That thing will drive up the value. It's a sticker. Like I think it's pretty cool.
$300 helmet, green dot, $400.
$850. So we talked about NBA draft, talked Bowman 2019, talked about our whole defensive player argument. It's time to play 20 questions where now it's going to be me and you, Adam.
Oh, so Griffin's giving it
So
up.
Yeah.
Griffin has a guy.
I got a guy.
I'll explain it a
Who
little
knows the
bit.
guy?
Yeah,
He's got a
knows
guy.
the So I'll explain it a little bit. Adam and I will ask yes or no questions.
Mhm.
You have to answer them, and we try to guess the person that you're thinking of in your head. Last week, mine was Bruce Smith.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we did good.
It was good.
You guys
We got
did.
to
You
like
did get it.
14 or 15.
Yeah, you guys got it. I tried to throw a curveball. Not a guy who's super well known, but known to some.
To older generations.
And has a
Hopefully
pretty
so.
has a pretty good resume.
Great resume.
Fantastic.
Fantastic resume.
Yeah.
I'll undersell it here.
Yeah, there you go.
All-time sack leader. That's pretty decent.
Unbelievable resume. So Griffin, Adam and I will start. We're gonna give you yes or no questions. You have the guy in your head.
Yes.
That was my
I
first
do.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down one. Question two.
I'll let that slide. Do you actually have someone in your head that we could guess? Yes.
All
We
right.
could guess.
I think we got to nail down sport
Right.
first. I'm not going to guess football because that's what
Too
we
easy.
did last week.
I think you do it.
Is he baseball?
Yes.
Good guess. That's a really good guess.
Huge.
Is he a Pittsburgh Pirate?
No.
It's going to be a long one.
I thought I would just really nail it in quick.
Let's lock down AL. I know. Is
Okay.
he a National League? Is he National League?
No.
Known for being a National League. Okay.
Okay, so
All right,
there's
so
no
he's American League. We should need to figure out what era we're
division.
No, era. I mean, is he
All right,
playing?
did he play? Is he playing right now? Is he a
No.
current? Okay,
No.
so he's a throwback guy. That's 4 questions. 4 or 5 questions.
That's 4 innings, count on his fingers for the
I got
listeners.
You got 20 fingers.
What, do it? What, 10 out of each hand?
Yeah.
Go on, jeez. Go ahead.
Okay, so he's a former player, American League Baseball.
Not Pirates.
And he's not
I can't take it
Just-
back.
I know.
Use one of the questions, is he on the Pirates? It just had a bunch.
Okay.
Just taking a shot in the dark. It's like, guess who?
Let's lock down a position. We'll split it in half. Is he a pitcher?
Nope.
So he's a position player in the AL, former, not in the Pirates.
You're doing way better than I am.
Okay.
Did he play in the 90s?
No.
Wow. Well, shoot. I mean, he could
Not
be in
great.
the 2000s too, though.
Yeah.
Well, it's 2019. He could be, what, 20? We're talking 2010s?
He
Is that
could've
a thing
been-
now? 2010s?
I mean,
Ah,
Ichiro started in '99. I mean, so it's like
that's
it's
true.
really like '90s.
How about
It's a long
this?
time
He
ago.
might have been in the minors and came up in the 90s,
I
but
know who it is.
Okay, so
That's all I needed.
did he play in the 2000s?
yes.
Okay, all right. So
2000s AL
position player.
position player. That's a lot of
It's not on
guys.
the card.
That's, yeah, he's
Not
not.
on Pittsburgh.
He's not a
Even though the
pirate.
Pirates are national.
And he has the player in his head. All right, is he an outfielder?
No.
Damn, I really suck at this game.
I mean,
Infielder.
so that makes him an infielder, but he could be a catcher too, though. I mean, I want to ask off the record question, like,
Yeah.
do you consider a catcher an infielder? No, I mean, you don't. That's
Well, what else would he be?
So do you?
well, I mean, he's in the infield.
you
but
consider
don't
a
consider
Okay,
a
for the
catcher
sake of
an
this discussion, a catcher
is
is
not.
on is yeah,
Okay,
yeah
you're
a
gonna
group
consider-
yes.
Okay, all right.
Catcher, first
I wouldn't
base,
consider
second
catcher an
base,
infielder.
shortstop, third base.
No, we don't. But he's saying for this. I mean, obviously for this exercise, he's not an outfielder, so he is in the
Yes.
infield.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to straight up ask you: is he a infielder in the sense of a third, short, second?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right.
He was trying to throw us off, I guess.
Yeah, you were trying to throw me off my scent.
Okay.
I got a good one.
You could maybe.
So
He's on the trail.
do we even pinpoint it even more?
well,
I think we try to
got
find a team.
I think we got
Okay.
a team.
Is he?
I mean, maybe go division.
I was
first?
thinking that. Is he in the AL East?
Nope.
Central.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, AL Central.
What are we at? Do we know?
I have like 13 questions.
You guys are counting.
Yeah, we were at 10 questions.
13, 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I lost track of my fingers
No
already.
idea.
Okay, so that
I think we're at
that's
13
five.
questions.
We'll say 13.
All right, we have 7 more.
Yes.
7 more questions. AL Central.
AL Central infielder that played in the 2000s.
AL Central infielder played in the 2000s.
Oh man.
Was he an All-Star?
I want to say off the top of my head, he made a couple All-Stars.
Okay, if you made a couple, then if you made a couple, then he probably was at least once.
Okay. So we have AL Central 2000s. Not a
Come on,
catcher.
that's team. We could spend 5 guesses on a team.
Not a
Get it right.
yeah.
You know?
I really have
It's easier
no
with football.
clue.
There's only 4 on one team.
Man, I have no clue.
Infielder. I mean,
Couple.
should we guess the like left half or right half of the infield, first or second, short? Or third?
Nah, that won't help.
I don't know. I think that would help because then I don't know.
Guess a team.
Just like totally go off.
Guess a team.
All right. I feel like since we're in Chicago, the White Sox are a cop out. It's too easy. I'm gonna Chicago. Is he the White Sox?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know who it is.
I think I know it.
He played in the
Maybe he
2000s.
played a couple years in infielder. He played for the White Sox in the 2000s. I mean,
Oh, is it?
no, don't guess a player.
Okay. Did he play first base?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Got it. Is it?
Oh no! Did he start as
Ooh.
with the Reds as a catcher and get traded over to the White Sox? Can you confirm that? I think he played for the Dodgers a little bit too in the minors. Okay.
What do you mean? What does that mean? That's not an answer.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we're on the right track. I think he's telling us we're on the right track.
I think I guessed it.
Is
I
that
think
Paul
I guessed
Konerko?
Yes, it's Paul
Wow,
Konerko.
man, we kind of pulled that out of nowhere.
Yeah, I thought I got you, but that was good.
If we were in a dark road there for a minute,
I was really off.
and then I think if we didn't get White Sox, we'd still be guessing.
Because he was like, oh, like that'd be a cop out. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go White Sox.
Yeah, because that's
Being a Cubs fan, and then you
Okay.
were like, oh, no way,
'Cause I was like,
that'd be
okay.
too easy. So you almost fell into the trap of,
I did.
it couldn't be a White Sox
Because I was
player.
like, no, Royals. But then it's like you think about who's in that division: Royals, Twins. It's like,
Yeah, who cares? Who cares what those guys?
White Sox is probably in the 2000s. Is probably who the players.
Paul
would be.
Konerko.
Yeah,
That's
my two were it was down to Maglio Ordonez
I don't know about
or Paul Konerko. I don't know. I was feeling like White Sox. or
Paul
something.
Konerko was a catcher when he came up.
I believe
With
so.
the Dodgers and the Reds, and he I think that's why I said I think he played in like the late '90s, and then came up with got traded to the White Sox,
Yeah.
switched him to first base, and I was waiting for you guys to go, did they win a World Series in the 2010? Like 2005.
Yeah, that was it.
Yep.
It was the captain.
Him, Jermaine Dye, Aaron
was a good
Rowan.
team.
It was a solid team.
Tadahito Iguchi.
They only lost one game in the playoffs that year.
One, yeah.
Game one.
Was,
Team won the World
yeah.
Series.
that pitching staff was insane. Burley,
Yep. We're
Garland.
good.
Contreras.
Closer was Bobby Jenks.
Esteban Loaiza, who we now know as a drug
No,
lord.
I don't think he was. I don't think he was 05. I think
He
was
wasn't?
one. I think
Loaiza?
didn't they swap him for
Esteban?
Contreras?
I thought he was on
Jose
the team.
Contreras.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jose Contreras was 05.
He was
They-
good.
They traded him for Loaiza.
they had Bobby Jenks who's coming to throw gas.
Yeah. Neil Kotz.
Throw absolute gas.
With Ozzie Guillen, tell him to bring in Bobby Jinx.
Oh,
Paul, wide.
Ozzie Guillen.
good.
That's probably one of the most hated individuals.
Ozzie Guillen.
Depends if you're a Cubs fan.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Cool.
But that's about it, guys. If you have anything else to say,
I hate Tony La Russa more
Okay.
as a Cubs fan.
that wasn't open.
Not
I'm not
Ozzie
talking about
Guillen.
who we hate here.
Well, you said you hate Ozzie. I have no hard feeling towards the South
This is
side.
the moment.
You being a
This
Cubs
is
This is
fan.
what he's been waiting to say.
The Cardinals.
This is his therapy session.
Left. Left.
How much do you hate Tony Russo? Just lay it out.
Go into it.
A lot. I'll leave it at that.
But that's it.
Yes, definitely sound off in the comments. We definitely want to hear some feedback of what you want to hear us talk about. What's hot in your mind, in your groups. What's big for you guys. So we'd love to talk about some stuff. Given to us by the fans. So.
Yeah, we want to have a segment on here. The first episode will be released to the public very soon.
Right.
So after that,
pretty close. Episode 1 and 2.
right, episode 1 and 2 will be pretty close in release days. After that, we're gonna have a lot of fan interaction. I'm hoping we can have a little fan question and
We'll
answer
create some
kind of
additional
thing.
content outside of the podcast.
Yep.
We talked about some box breaks and things like that. Like cards and whatnot. So
We want to know who you pulled from Bowman 2019 if you open up the
show us
gold
your
box.
hits. Show us the hits.
Tony La Russa, if you're watching, I apologize.
Ozzie Guillen, I
We don't
apologize.
associate ourselves with him all that much. We try not to. But that's it for episode 2. Thanks, guys, for watching the Ultimate Autographs podcast here in the Ultimate Autographs studio. We'll see you guys next time.